there is dueling information on whether, since our show yesterday, the FBI has, quote, moved on from, and by FBI, I mean FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department, from Pac-Man, who we analyzed at length yesterday. The man who had 2 backpacks in a back alley a few miles away from Nancy Guthrie's case, almost at the same time of the Nancy Guthrie home invasion, if the camera was right in the alley, put it around 1:53 a.m., someplace around there. And of course, we're told that the doorbell was disconnected at Nancy's house at 1:47 and that someone was spotted on camera at 2:12 a.m. So the NBC News nightly program, I think it was last night, Tom Winter, who's been covering the case for them, reports that law enforcement has, quote, moved on. I think he said that that man is not a person of interest or a suspect, and they've moved on. And TMZ saying that's not true, saying that their sources say, no, your information is wrong, that no one has been cleared. That was the word. They've been cleared. And Harvey says, no, my FBI source tells me no one has been cleared in relation to that video. So let's just start there. What's going on there? I mean, I tried to get to the bottom of this, and basically I was directed to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I mean, that they're the ones supposed to be running herd on this. They're the only ones who can clear or not clear. And while the FBI may be telling Harvey he's not cleared, no one's cleared, Tom Winter seems to have 2 just law enforcement sources saying he is. So, Jim, what do you think is happening here?
Yeah, no one is cleared in this investigation, Megyn, at this point in time. You can talk of the inner circle of the family to guys like this who pop up, days later, weeks later, a week and a half later on some kind of a video. So, unless someone's actually in prison, locked up, no ands for a butt, CCTV on him, they know where he is. No one is going to be cleared. And even if this guy is not the one, or someone is in prison and they know he didn't do the abduction of Nancy Guthrie, does he know someone who did? Was he involved in some sort of co-conspiratorial type thing? So I said yesterday, this guy has to be ruled out before, well, they can do other things at the same time, but he has to be ruled out before they say he's cleared. We're hearing conflicting stories. One set of people said yes, other people said no. My idea is you keep them, you move them down the priority list. You put them in section, C, D, or E of suspects, but you still keep an eye on them, still keep everything, get DNA, get fingerprints if that's possible, and then compare it from there. But I would say, if I was the investigator, and Maureen can disagree with this if she wants, but this guy is still in the suspect pool because there's too many factors that lined up when they shouldn't have lined up, same time, same location, backpacks, all that stuff. So he has to be kept in that suspect pool. I'm not sure if he's been identified or not. That would be a big factor.
I mean, no one would have told Tom Winter. I mean, Tom Winter is a good reporter. No one would have said he was cleared if they hadn't identified him. I just can't believe that. But here is Harvey, who clearly does have some FBI sources. He cites FBI. Normally he just cites law enforcement, but his only role in this whole case has been the so-called ransom notes, which we know the FBI is handling. Quite clearly, he's got a source or sources within the FBI. And this is what he said on Hannity last night, Maureen. Here it is, top 3.
Why is NBC dismissing this now that apparently they have determined that the man has been cleared in this case? Because it looks like a strange coincidence to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to embrace or dispute what NBC said. I can only tell you about an hour ago, I called one of my sources at the FBI who was involved in this case, who said that nobody has been cleared in connection with the video. That doesn't mean they're implicated either, but they said they're looking at everything, including this. So I'm getting different information from the FBI.
Okay, so what do you make of it, Maureen?
I think that in the Bureau, we're doing different things. And, Fitz has talked at length about the number of different investigations in all these different silos that are happening simultaneously, including the Sheriff's Department. Our team is just not going to give up, especially like the CAST team, the cellular analysis team, and others. We are just not going to give up until we check every single solitary box that we check. And for 2 different agencies to have 2 different ways of going about things is totally natural. You're always going to have hiccups. You're always going to have issues among personnel. But that's where leadership comes in. If you're a good leader, you know, like more than one time I had a supervisor say, hey, I need you to go over here and build a damn bridge. And I don't care what you have to do to build it, because we have whatever the situation is at hand. And here the situation obviously is an 84-year-old woman. So we have different ways of going about it. We're not going to tell them how to handle their business. They're not going to be telling us how to handle ours. And then at the end of the day, we just share in a you know, really good situation, we're going to share all the information, and we're going to do it in the command post, and we're going to say, this is what we found. This is the action.
With respect to this guy, though, I think it's fair to say he's not a great lead. No one's considering him their hottest lead right now. Otherwise, the messaging overall would be different. And so that's disturbing, because now we have at least two men who, one we know committed a crime, one we think looks pretty sketchy with the double backpack in the alley in the middle of the night, trying to get through some gate. Doesn't exactly look like, you know, he's working on his dissertation. So I'm not sure what's happening there in Tucson. And then we have a third person. Now another video has emerged, and we're going to show that today, of yet another guy. This guy is on a porch. This, again, comes from one of the Ring camera forums are in and around Tucson. Like, people talk, and they link their ring cameras, and they talk about what they've seen on there. Now look at this guy. He was all over this woman's porch in the middle of the night. Look at him, you guys. He's got the dark mustache. He's got the dark soul patch into a beard underneath his chin. He's got pretty distinguished eyebrows. Now, unfortunately, he is also kind of skinny. In my view, that's a distinction from the man who was on Nancy Guthrie's porch. You can tell he sort of knows about the Ring camera here himself. But look at that. Before he manages to cover it up or do whatever he did to it, boy, oh boy, you have a pretty good headshot of him. So, Jim, there is a striking similarity between this guy and his face, at least, and what we think is behind that masked man on Nancy's porch.
And once again, as I've said about the last guy we showed and the same guy we talked about yesterday. By the way, Maureen and I came up with the name Tupac for him. Tupac.
This latest guy?
No, the guy from yesterday.
Oh, Pac-Man. Oh, Tupac. I get
Tupac,
it.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
well
but this guy, yeah, there are some similarities, certainly through the eye holes. They've got to follow up on this. I would want to know how far away from Nancy's house, the exact night, the same, and the time of day, and perhaps if any other Ring cameras picked this guy up along the way. He's certainly acting suspicious, like he doesn't belong there. Yeah,
there's
that's
no
a good
way he
side by side.
belongs.
Well, of course not. I mean, unless it's an ex-girlfriend or something. I mean, we just don't know that. But I'm sure the ex-girlfriend wouldn't be putting this thing out unless she wanted to, upset her ex-boyfriend. So he has to be looked into. Facial recognition. Local sheriff deputies are going to know this guy. Most likely, someone will recognize him and say, "Hey, who is he?" If he's just a normal, street guy doing his thing, that's one thing. But if he's obviously if he's there for some other reason, that has to be determined. And if he never shows up and turns himself in, that's a clue too. So we have to get these guys identified is the bottom line, and maybe just move on from there. But without knowing who they are, their names, or where exactly they were, at 1:47 or so that Sunday morning, they got to keep him in the suspect pool.
We don't know, but somebody knows. Here's the information. The original poster of the video goes by Keen Divine online. And this was originally posted it was dated January 23rd, last month, from the neighbor's Ring camera app, not far from Nancy. Then our friend Nerdy Addict on X, he reposted it, which is where I saw it this morning. The man showed up on someone's porch, he said, around 3:30 a.m., and then returned again at 5 a.m., prompting a concerned Ring user to post about it on the neighbor app. This home is roughly 6 miles south of Nancy Guthrie's house. Look at that. I mean, short of it being vertical, this guy gave us his own little mugshot. I mean, somebody should be looking into him for what, if anything, may have gone missing on that porch at a minimum. The link that the neighbor who posted it on the neighborsring.com, that post says, this guy appeared in the front yard around 3:30 a.m., then returned around 5 a.m. My dogs went crazy barking and thankfully spooked him away. I didn't answer the door. Anyone else see him in the area of 6th between Campbell and Tucson Boulevard? He's got on a light color. Now moving on to just what we see in the video for the listening audience. He has dark hair, dark facial hair, a mustache, the soul patch underneath his bottom lip. He approaches the doorway, appears to be carrying a light colored sweatshirt or jacket. He sort of oddly hunches over, we think probably trying to avoid detection on the camera, which failed with his rear end to the camera. But I mean, he's caught, like his whole face is on there. He shuffles to the side, appears to try to block the camera unsuccessfully. You see his entire face. He does have more rounded eyes, and it looks a little bit like he has something on his neck, like a tattoo. It's hard to see. And he looks Hispanic to me. You can't really tell in this black and white video for sure. But I don't know. To me, still, he seems too skinny. The guy who was at Nancy's for sure, to me, looks slightly huskier than this guy and huskier than Tupac. And now let's see. Yes, this is somebody on the Nerdy Addict thread. Chuppa Jones points out, notice how he uses the same hand to block the camera, then almost seemingly instinctively does the same little crouch down to the left motion as the abductor, or as the maskless guy, as Tupac, he's saying, as Tupac does in the video. It's like he's reaching for something that isn't there. A lot of speculation about whether this is the same guy. Let me just, any thoughts on all of that? Because this is somebody who was in the area, he came back an hour and a half later. This is very suspicious. And by the way, we think Nancy's abductor may have come back. He approached that door more than once. We at least think that because he didn't have the backpack on in that one shot, Maureen.
Right. I think you're right about this guy. He's got those large eyes and he's got those eyebrows that are perfectly arched at the bottom, and he's got the right facial hair around his mouth. I wish I could see the mouth a little bit better.
Yeah, because the perpetrator at Nancy's house has thick lips.
That were perfectly calm the whole time. There are people that can't pick up a plate or turn a doorknob without making some sort of, tightening up their face in some way, shape, or form. But that person on Nancy's porch just was calm as a cucumber the whole time. I do see a similarity, as you pointed out, about how calm this person is, this new video, the way he just saunters around, and he's hunched over. He seems to be a bit taller, and I would agree a bit thinner, but we don't know that right now. Maybe we can get that team out on the front porch to measure all that, but I don't see this person standing up straight. Does it say, or did it mention at all if this person in this newest video was seen at other houses in the area, or just that one particular?
Okay, did not say that. And one notable distinction is he did not wear a ski mask. So if that was a crime, unlike Tupac or Pac-Man, who was just who looked like he had just committed a crime. This is just my own supposition, or might be about to. And was in an area where the crime didn't appear to be happening. It seemed to be more like where he was stashing something. Could be totally reasonable explanation for his behavior. Should note that for the record. This guy was in the midst of something that looked sketchy, like on the porch. And he was not wearing the face mask, unlike Nancy's abductor, who did have the face mask. International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold, so you too can have peace of mind regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.